Good afternoon and welcome to PHCC's virtual program showcase, where today we are featuring our industrial electronics and general engineering technology programs. Students joining in live, if you would please type your name and high school in the chat box for us. You can also use the chat feature to ask questions today, and please keep yourself muted until the end, where we will do the Q&A portion of our call. Today's call is hosted by the PHCC Career Coaches, representing all of the high schools in Henry County, Martinsville, and Patrick County. Our job is to help you make informed decisions about your career goals and to help you have a successful transition into your post-secondary education and training. Here is the contact information for your career coaches from each high school. We typically host on-campus field trips, and we really miss having you all with us in person this year, but we are happy to offer this virtual tool until we can be together again. Quickly, we're going to introduce ourselves. My name is Alyssa Rohr. I work with Magna Vista High School students. I serve as the career coach for that school, and my office is located in the guidance department at the front of the building when we are in person in school. While virtual, I work here at the PHCC office. It's located in the Philpott building on PH's main campus. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Sharika Williams. I am the career coach for Bassett High School. When I am at the school, my office is located in the small math hallway across from Miss Craig and Miss Yeaman. And when I'm at PHCC or virtually, I am located in Philpott Hall.
And Christy Lester is not able to be with us today, but she is the Martinsville High School career coach. Her office is located in the guidance department at the end of the hall, in the big office at the end of guidance when she's at Martinsville High School. And she is also located in the Philpott building. Since school has not gone back in session and does not plan to this semester for Martinsville, I know the best way to reach her is by email first, or you can give her a call at the number provided here and leave a message for her, and she will return your calls there.
And hello, I am Diane Hughes, the career coach for Patrick Henry Community College, located at DeHart Park and at Patrick County High School. And right now I'm at Patrick County High School every Tuesday and Thursday.
All right. We are going to share a quick video with you. Let's see here. Let me get up our screen before our instructors speak. And can everyone see that in that video? Okay, yes. We're going to begin.
Alyssa, I can't hear you.
I'm going to get your PowerPoint back up here in just a second. Go ahead and take it away for us, David.
Okay, this is an outside shot of the Manufacturing Engineering Technology Complex, referred to as the MET 1. And we've got three high bay areas. The the engineering technology and industrial electronics technology is located in the middle area of this complex. On the left side would be motorsports, and on the far right of that building, they've got a flex space for industry to come in and kind of play with some of their new gadgets before they commission it in operation in their facilities. Next slide, please. Here are the faculty. Of course, our names are right up under them. We got Keith Newcomb, Daniel Edwards, and myself, David Dillard. Next slide, please. The degree offerings we have here at the Met under both programs would be, of course, General Engineering Technology, that's an associate's degree, Industrial Electronics Technology, which is also an associate degree, and I'm a graduate of it many, many moons ago out of that program. We also offer Computer-Aided Drafting and Design as a certificate, Advanced Manufacturing Technician as a career study certificate, Applied Mechatronics as a career study certificate, Industrial Controls, Industrial Maintenance Electronics career study certificate, Residential, Commercial, Industrial Electrician career study certificate, and Robotics and Automation Technologies career study certificate. Next slide, please. Here we also offer throughout all of the programs that we have here a whole host of third-party industry recognized certificates. And so these are certificates that we proctor the test for here at Patrick Henry Community College, but these are both nationally and internationally recognized third-party certification. And Mr. Edwards is showing you a list of them there. If you can see Mr. Edwards' screen on yours, he's got all of them, and those are the ones that he's worked so hard on to collect over the years. Next slide, please. We'll talk a little bit about, as you come into the building in our area, one of the first areas you run into is the computer-aided design and classroom, which will be on the left side. There are two types of computer-aided design courses taught in that room, and one of them is architecture. And so in the computer-aided design architecture, students will go in and design structures. And so we see on this particular slide, it's a structure that a student created as a law office. Next slide. Here are some of the other views of the same building that we saw it on that most previous slide of the law office. So on the bottom left side of the screen, we see a 3D layout of the first floor of that office building. And then on the right, we see a draft layout of that same room with the, I believe that has the door schedule listed on it, as well as the various types of furniture and equipment that's located in the law office. Next slide, please. The other type of computer-aided design we teach here at Patrick Henry is engineering design. And in engineering design, as opposed to designing houses and structures, they design parts and assemblies. And so everything that you purchase in the store, from cell phones to ink pens to cars to motorcycles to aircraft carriers, will start off looking like this in a computer-aided design engineering graphics type of program. On this screen here, we have students had designed what's called an arbor press. And they took measurements from an actual arbor press, transferred the measurements into the drawings that you see down there on the bottom left side of the screen, and then did a 3D assembled animation of that same arbor press on the right side of the screen. Next slide, please. And so in the image shown here on the bottom left side of the screen is a picture of the actual arbor press that students use measurement instruments to take measurements off of. They designed that arbor press using CAD software, and then we 3D printed a scaled down 50% size of that arbor press that the student designed. And you see the little blue and white arbor press that they designed it, scaled it down 50%, and 3D printed it. And so in these classes, students are instructed in advanced skills with what's called 3D parametric modeling software for the purpose of digital and rapid prototyping and additive manufacturing. And what you see in that little blue model there would be an example of rapid prototyping and through the use of additive manufacturing. Next slide, please. This is a class that one of the classes I enjoy teaching the most. In this picture, I've got my students from a year or two ago. And in that class, we use everything that's learned in computer-aided drafting and design, along with the basic CNC and CAM class, to design and route out guitar bodies. And hopefully at the end of the class, all the students will have a working, playable electric guitar. And this is done through, again, CNC, which is computer numerical control. That's the code that controls the machine that cuts out the parts. And CAM, computer-aided manufacturing, which is what that does is create the tool paths for the tools that are used to either 3D print or route out or mill out or turn with lathes parts that would go into an assembly. When in this class, students have exposure to CNC equipment, including 3D printers, CNC routers, laser engravers, and vinyl cutters. Next slide, please. Here's a CAD drawing of a guitar body. That's the Superman body. And that's where it all starts. Our classes here are all project-based. So most of the classes that students enroll into, I would say anywhere from 70 to 85% of the class is going to be hands-on learning, right? Project-based learning, and probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 20 to 30% of it is a lecture type situation. On the bottom right side of the screen there, those are some guitars that some of my dual enrollment students designed, routed out, and built about 2 years ago. Next slide, please. These are some laser engraver projects that students completed. On the bottom left, that's the letter D. It was laser engraved or cut, laser cut, using some birch wood. In the middle there is a chess set that one of the students that worked in the lab, is also a work study here, designed, cut out, assembled, and put together. And we have it on display in our front area. And again, on the right side, there are some more letters that students cut out, designed and cut out as part of the project-based learning in class. Next slide, please. We also teach some robotics courses, and there are two types of robotics courses we teach. One is autonomous robotics. And in the autonomous robotics course, these are robots that go out and operate on their own. They're not stationary. And in these classes, the students cover the concept of robot movement, how robots perceive their environment, how they sense things around them, and adjust their movements to avoid obstacles, navigate through terrain, complete tasks. And they get some projects, some challenges, some agricultural applications, and some disaster recovery challenges that they have in class as part of the project learning. Next slide, please. Here's an example of an obstacle course that students would use with one of the smaller VEX robots that they programmed to complete a series of tasks inside of that little work area that you see there on the table. Next slide, please. Here's another challenge that students they have to separate and organize the blocks according to color. And there's an area of the table there that they have to place these blocks. That's another one of the challenges. Next slide, please. The other type of robotics class we teach is an industrial robotics class. And this introduces students to industrial robots and their programming for repetitive manufacturing systems, including the design of the software to ensure safe operation and programming of both on and online robot applications. These are the types of robots that you might find, some smaller, some larger, in industry. If any of you have ever seen the show How It's Made, you'll probably find a lot of these types of robots used in welding applications and paint applications, as well as material handling. Next slide, please. As part of that robotics program, we do make available extracurricular activities for students. This is a robotics team that I coached about 2 years ago, 2-3 years ago. And the competition was in Kingsport, Tennessee. This is a group of a mixture of high school and college students. One of them was a on-level college student, and the other 5 there were high school students from Bassett and Carlisle High School. They competed in MATE Robotics, which is an underwater robotics competition. And we made it to the second round. And this was a international competition. Now, we as faculty don't set everything up. We're there for support. And these competitions that students engage in are going to be and must be student-led projects. So they're led by the student. We just offer support to the students. Next slide, please. This is a cyber physical system. I don't know if any of you all have heard of Industry 4.0, but Industry 4.0 takes all of these concepts that you learn while you're here at the Met in both the Industrial Electronics Technology course and the General Engineering Technologies course, and it kind of combines it all together to work with what are called smart systems in these smart factories. And these systems are comprised of smart machines, storage systems, production facilities, capable of autonomously exchanging information, triggering actions, and controlling each other independently. And so these are the type of systems that you'll begin to see popping up in some of our new manufacturing facilities that are being built in the area. Next slide, please. I'm going to turn this slide over to Mr. Edwards. He's a colleague of mine here at the Met, and this is one of the classes that he teaches, a mechanisms class. So, Mr. Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Dillard. I just want to kind of highlight some of the things that you've already mentioned. We showed a PowerPoint earlier of all the career study certificates and the embedded certifications. Just want to let students know that they're upon successful completion, they'll earn the majority of everything that I showed them on the computer screen as you was going over that, in addition to 3 to 4 career study certificates with their degree. So there's a lot of credentials that you'll earn coming through this program. So this is a mechanisms class. So in this class, we touch on gearboxes, how to align shafts, couplings, belts and pulley systems, how to properly lubricate bearings and bearing assemblies, learn how motors work, and all sorts of mechanical systems that apply. Next slide, please. So applied mechatronics, we do offer 2 levels of mechatronics. It's a Siemens certification. So the term mechatronics is basically electromechanical systems, so electrical and mechanical. There's some fluid power systems involved in that, and some computer engineering technologies as well, with the programmable logic controllers. So this is one of the smaller systems that we have. We actually have 3 of these systems. We have one in Patrick County as well, in the older Food Line building there. So next slide. Here we have an instrumentation and fluid power lab. So in this lab, you'll learn how to control processes such as level, temperature, pressure, flow, some of those variables that we want to control in industry. In fluid power, we learn about pneumatic circuits, electropneumatic circuits, hydraulic circuits. You'll build and troubleshoot pneumatic and hydraulic circuits in this class. We do about 50% of the stuff that we do is going to involve some troubleshooting in your labs. So I'll have you do a lab, for example, and then I'll have you slip off for about 5 minutes, and I introduce bugs into the systems that you'll have to solve. Next slide, please. Here's motor controls. So here you learn about how to design and properly control motors, those three-phase motors that we see mounted in the picture to the left. Those are out in industry extensively. So we learn how to control those, how to properly size the wire, the overload protection, how to control these things, make motors run forward, reverse, different start and stop scenarios. The image on the right, that device is referred to as a variable frequency drive. There's a certification revolved around that device itself through Siemens. So that device is able to do things that the motor starter on your left isn't capable of doing, such as it controls the speed, it controls the torque. We can monitor the torque, monitor the speed. There's about 3,000 parameters in that drive that we can use to modify the operating characteristics of a motor. So the motors goes, the control techniques goes quite in depth. Next slide, please. Here we do some residential wiring. This class is currently being held over on the main campus in the Philpott building, but we also teach this class at the Patrick County site as well. We have some small modular trainers that we have up there. So students will learn everything from the transformer, the pole, out to the service lateral, wiring into the breaker panel or service panel in your home, how to properly size a service entrance or a panel for home, single family dwelling, multiple family dwellings, so on. You learn all the National Electrical Code that applies to installation of residential wiring systems. When am I supposed to put staples in Romex? When is it supposed to be in conduit and not supposed to be in conduit, and so on. Next slide. So this is a capstone course. So the students will actually bring together some of the previous things that we showed you, such as mechanical systems, fluid power systems, the National Electric Code and wiring. Is heavily based in this class. Programmable logic controllers, which is just a industrial computer that we can program to cause this system to act autonomously. So this is a 4th semester project, and basically, when you come into this lab, this conveyor is going to be sitting in pieces, and your job would be to build it back up, do all the computer networking, do all the wiring, programming. We'll do some barcoding and quality checks on this as well. Next slide, please. Mr. Dillard, I think you actually put these in there, so maybe you could touch on some of this stuff.
Let me unmute here. Sure, I sure will. A lot of times people are interested in the types of jobs that they are able to get after just a 2-year degree, or even with some of the career study certificates that you get here at Patrick Henry Community College. And I did a search on Indeed, and I would recommend that any student that's considering making a career choice, go to these web job searches, look up those jobs and find out, what type of education you need to get, what kind of training you need, what type of experience do you need to have. and then of course see if that dollar figure meets your happy point. And that way you can kind of look into how you're going to plan your career out. And so I've got 2 slides here showing, and they're in areas within a 100-mile radius of Martinsville, just giving you what entry-level salaries are with if you graduate from Patrick Henry with a few of our career study certificates, and particularly with a degree in industrial electronics or general engineering technologies. These are the type of jobs you can look at applying for and having a good shot at getting with your degree from these 2 programs here at PH, and maybe a year or 2 of experience. So on the next slide, there are a couple of more job descriptions. Next slide. Yeah, there are a couple of more, and again, pretty good. They can make a pretty good penny with an investment of 2 years of your life and an education over here at Patrick Henry Community College. You can start off making a nice, in some cases, more than livable wage right out of college. So that's all I have.
Thank you all so much for sharing about your program today. I know we're running short on time. We have about 4 minutes left for this call. And one of our questions for you all is, what are the characteristics of your most successful students?
Well, in the video that we showed at the beginning, in my program, good characteristics of students that are successful after they graduate here are students that number one, they don't procrastinate. 2, they understand that if it's regarding a class here, that there is no such thing as a stupid question. And I often tell my students that the words stupid and dumb are like curse words in my classroom. They shouldn't use that at all. It's not acceptable. But students that they stay on top of their assignments, they get along well with others, they're willing to help others that are falling behind, and they don't procrastinate. So those are some good characteristics of students that come through my program. And of course, they really enjoy hands-on type of challenges in class. They like to build things, put things together, take things apart, see how they work. And so those are some characteristics of the students that I have. Mr. Edwards, I'm sure has some.
Well, I would say that we share the same characteristics, Mr. Dillard. Our programs have a lot of similarity. So if you finish Mr. Dillard's degree and then you decide you want to take the industrial electronics technology degree, there's only about 6 or 7 courses that student has to take, and they can have both degrees. Those core characteristics that we're looking, punctuality and don't procrastinate is right there at the top.
Great. Thank you guys so much. I think you covered the other questions that we had throughout your presentation, which is great. If we have any students that have additional questions or would like more information, would like the contact information for these instructors, please feel free to reach out to your career coaches. I'm gonna put our information back up here again. We would love to connect you with these guys. And I know that with COVID, we are trying to keep our students as safe as possible, but I'm sure if you contacted them, contact us and we can get you in touch with them. They would be happy to show you around the facility and explain more about their programs with you one-on-one. If you are interested in learning more about any of the programs that we mentioned through this showcase, please contact us. Like I said, we'll get you in touch. We are here to help you navigate your seed fund opportunity, scholarships, financial aid application, and just step-by-step guidance for you as a senior in the next steps for after graduation and coming to PH. This session will be recorded and available afterwards for you to access. And we thank you all for participating today. Thank you, Mr. Edwards and Mr. Dillard. We appreciate the time you took to speak with our students today. Everyone have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.